Hello everyone and welcome to week 5 of SITHKOP004, Develop Menus for Special Dietary Requirements. This week is all about getting your assessment task 1 finished, the feedback process, and we'll talk a little bit about the virtual field trip we're going to have as well. By completing this week's activities, you should be able to finalise your meal plan for your 3 health-based special dietary requirements and finalise your meal plan for your 3 faith-based special dietary requirements. And hand those assessment tasks in, as well as start utilising the numeracy skills required to calculate the food cost of your recipes and your ingredients. This little mini lesson is going to include just going over the feedback process. We'll have a quick look at recipe costing and look at today's weekly tasks. So just as an extra reminder that your assessment task 1 will be due this Sunday night at 10 p.m. You'll need to have your completed 3 faith-based meal plans of your choice and your 3 health-based meal plans of your choice, as well as the documented feedback from your peers, all uploaded this Sunday by 10 o'clock. Now, the feedback process, what you need to do is you'll need to share your draft meal plans with your fellow students. And you need to receive feedback from at least 2 of your fellow students. Now, within the assessment task, there is a template for them to give you feedback where they can sign off that they've given you the feedback. And you will also need to try and give feedback for 2 other students as well. Now, what this is going to do, hopefully, is it will pick up any small mistakes that you've made, or where you might need some more detail. It also might be the process might help you to realize your own where you've done well or where you may need to improve. So you can use this process to create your final drafts. Now, one thing that's important that I want you to remember, and it's not only for this assessment, but throughout your entire career as a chef, is don't become emotionally attached to your menus. All right, and don't make feedback personal, and don't take feedback personally. I have in the past worked with a lot of people, and I've probably done it myself as well, where you fall in love with a dish. You think it's amazing because it's a lot of things that you like in it, and you think you'll like eating it. But no one else orders it, no one else enjoys it. But because you've got this emotional attachment to it, and every time someone suggests that you should take it off, you get a little bit upset by it. And so when we do this evaluation process, it's important that we step back and don't become emotionally involved in our own creations. And it's been to the detriment of a lot of chefs over the years. Some of them have lost businesses, some of them have lost their jobs, because they become too emotionally attached to what they create. You need to understand that we are a trade. We just value add to things and we sell it onwards to make more money. And that we don't have to love all the food that we create. It's all about whether someone else will like it. When you are giving feedback, just saying, oh yeah, that's all good, that's not really feedback. People need detail. They might need to know that, you've put brown rice too many times in one menu, or that your bavwa might have the gelatin in it, and it's for a halal menu, so they can't use gelatin. It's those small things. People are going to need to know where they've made mistakes, because it's as good a process for you to go through as well. Now, once you've received that feedback, you can make changes based on that feedback, and you may not make changes based on all the feedback, but there's a good chance you'll probably use most of it. And using your own reflection. And then you need to change, when you upload, please just use the template that's been provided to you. So in your final assessment upload, it's going to include the original draft menu, the feedback you received, and then the final menu that you created based on that feedback. All three of them for me and Marissa to grade together and moderate. Now, I realize that there's the menus are like that. You've done a lot of group work, and some of you might have some dishes that look a little bit similar, and that's okay. People do sell dishes that are a little bit similar, but as it says in the instructions, that we need to be aware that when we are giving feedback, we are not copying and plagiarizing each other's work, please. Okay, so thank you very much. That's the feedback process. So next, I'm just going to have a little look at the next stage of what we're going to do. And if you've got the time, you've got yourself ahead, that's great. So we're going to need to start completing your standard recipe cards for the meals, just like you've done in Plan and Cost Basic Menus in Superior. All the meal plans, it's important to remember, all these meal plans are going to be sold as a table to hope menu. So we don't need to get a selling price for the individual meals. We're going to work it out as the entire meal plan, okay, as a 3-course meal. I want you to start thinking about, we don't want to start costing it yet, but think about and reflect on your own experience working in industry and your own abilities and writing workflow, the many workflow plans you've written over the last 2 years. Start thinking about the labor requirements of producing 100 portions of this menu. How long it would take you, maybe someone else, to produce this menu as well as cleaning up, okay? Because we need to start thinking about how much it'll cost to produce this menu. And we need to work out we need to do one yield test for each. With each of the menus, one item will need to be yield tested as well. So just start thinking about which items you're going to yield test and how long some of this food will take to create as well. Now, in your weekly task this week, the main part obviously is getting your assignments finished, assessment task 1, and your discussion, your feedback done. You can get that feedback through the discussion boards, or you can do it through email, or you can do it through the MS Teams area as well. Then we need to look at your readings. I'm going to have you look at the theory notes for Plan and Cost Basic Menus from Superior to do a little bit of revision. In the web conference this week, we're going to have a virtual tour of the HelloFresh kitchens with Marissa. She's going to take us through for an hour, showing us the process of the menu creation and then all the way through to the cooking process. And then for you guys, if you want to get ahead, you can start costing your recipes as well and creating your standard recipe cards. Now, if there are... this week we've covered the feedback process, recipe costing, and looking at our weekly tasks. Next week we're going to start looking at standard recipe cards, table to hope menu pricing, and the yield testing for each unit, each menu. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them through the assessment, through the discussion board, general and assessment questions. I will also be available for an extra hour on Thursday night from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock for any last minute questions about your assessment task, or if you want to show me something or get some feedback on anything. I will be there for an extra hour for the webinar after our tour of the HelloFresh facility here in Brisbane. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week and at the webinar on Thursday night.